Hey everyone, my name is Dave Justus, and tonight I will be talking to you about the leadership of Gene Kranz in the Apollo 13 mission, and just kind of everything that happened and how he was able to lead through it. So first off, just a quick mission overview. Early on in the initial takeoff of the spacecraft, there were a few engine malfunctions, and as a result of that one, there were a few others that occurred. But the main issue or like thing that most people remember when they hear about the Apollo 13 is actually an explosion that occurred about 2 days into the mission, and that occurred in one of two oxygen tanks. And as a result of that single explosion, they lost all of their electricity, all of their light, and all of their water in space. Um, so now, just to kind of set the stage, they are 2 days into the space mission. Um, they are in space, about to go to the moon, uh, but now they are without electricity, without water, without heat, um, and obviously that is not good. So Gene Kranz was the mission control leader at Mission Control, and he is tasked with getting his whole crew up in space back down to Earth uh, in one piece. Um, so just kind of a brief history of Kranz. Uh, he led the odd-numbered Apollo missions, going back to Apollo 1, which, if you recall, was the mission where early in takeoff, there was an explosion and it killed all three crew members. And as a result of that, Krantz gave what was later coined as the Krantz dictum, um, and he mentioned two words, just kind of emphasize his point. And those were tough and competent. And tough, he was using the meaning of that we are forever accountable for what we do, and competent, to never take anything for granted. So just going back to Apollo 1, he was kind of already groomed for a crisis situation. Um, and, it clearly showed it in Apollo 13, the way he handled everything. Um, so he was I would say, a transformational leader. He was able to really empower his team, um, give trust to his team. Um, he actually told the president on record and in public that he and his team would get his space crew back to Earth safe and in one piece. Um, and I think by doing that, it was really uh, empowering to his team to know like that our leader really does care and does trust us enough to tell the president that we're going to do this. Um, Another thing I think Krantz was very big on was team leadership. We learned about how team leadership is a collaborative effort. It's not just one person calling the shots. It's everyone contributes what they know for the best possible solution. And Krantz did do that. He called in the people who assembled the circuit boards, the spacecraft itself. He brought everyone in to know as much information into how to make the spacecraft work with what they had. And another thing we talked about was the role of context and how important that is. And if there is a crisis situation, um, it kind of grooms a leader just naturally. And Krantz, I think, definitely fit that personality and that type. Going back to Apollo 1, but again, like I said, in Apollo 13, um, this was a time of crisis, and he was able to really change the inner climate of the room by, like I said, by really telling people that he trusts his team, um, and that he wants to get everyone home safe. Um, so in conclusion, Krantz, I believe, was a great leader in a time of crisis. Um, he is one that everyone can learn from every aspect. He was able to take a disastrous situation and really just lead through it with the confidence and the strength as well. So thank you for watching. Have a good night.